share the...
The first one was.
Yeah, I saw the first one. I don't see the second one if we're live right now. I mean, it might just be Facebook being stupid and hiding it somewhere.
Oh shoot, I forget how to do it.
You made an oopsie.
Yeah. Hey, Mike. How do I post it to Facebook again?
How do you face?
How do I?
He stopped it and now it wants to...
Yeah, I stopped the feed and then because I'm a dumb dummy. Was it output?
You should be going. So
Okay.
you stop the Wi-Fi output part,
Yes.
and it should have taken over. Let me see if you're still on there. 'Cause it might have just stopped and picked up where you left off.
Okay.
It didn't end the event. No, I don't think it did. I can do it on my end.
Okay.
It should be everywhere else.
It's like a huge audio spike in here somewhere. I'm not quite sure what's going on during that part.
Is it towards the beginning?
It's like...
Start the watch party up too.
Oh, it's like 20 minutes into it. There's like a big... Oh, is that what the spikes is? Is that viewership?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was audio. Got it.
No, that's your audience.
I gotcha.
What is this audience you speak?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean...
Alright, I'm resetting your Facebook now.
Okay, thank you.
Should be up in a second. Hopefully, maybe.
Oh, I think I just got the notification.
It's going.
Yeah, it looks like something's happening now.
Yep.
Something's happening!
Okay. Everybody good to go?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, I am good.
All right.
That's definitely you.
Well, welcome back to another episode of the Comic Book Pit. This is Comic Book Pit episode number 336. I'm your host, Dan, and with me in the amazing Sorgatron Media studio, we've got Link.
Hey, everybody.
And joining us from the Vox Popcast podcast is Chris Maverick, a.k.a. Mav.
Hello.
And he's joining us tonight this is our media conversation episode, and be warned immediately. We're going to be talking about a couple of shows, and there will be spoilers. So just, be aware, check the show notes. There will be some information in there, if you haven't seen it already, about what we'll be talking about. So, you've been warned. That's it. That's all I got to say. So I think one of the big TV events of the fall or the winter, let's say for at least guys like us, would be CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Well, for Mav, it'd be Riverdale.
Well,
Yes, the best show on television.
yes, the best show on television.
We don't know that Riverdale won't cross over yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's
God.
There's still 2 episodes left.
Oh my God!
I would love to see them
My
show
head
up.
Yes.
would explode.
Riverdale did cross over with the Charlie's Angels movie. Nobody saw it but me.
What?
Well, it's not clear. There's spoilers for the Charlie's Angels movie that literally no one's going to go
Yes.
see.
And that's the new
Charlie's
okay,
Angels movie
that's
that
what
just
I
came
thought.
out.
Okay.
I mean, this is barely a spoiler because if you've ever seen the Charlie's Angels TV series,
Mm-hmm.
there's traditionally 3 angels at a time,
Mhm.
but like they cycled through angels. And if you've seen the Drew Barrymore, well, they've been cycling through angels, and there's lots of women who have been in the angels program.
Okay.
And well, by the time of this movie, Angels is an international organization, and in fact, there was a television series before that no one remembers
I
called
heard
Charlie's
that.
Angels
Right.
International. But like, it's an international organization, so there have been many angels, and they have like a school where they're recruiting people. Which makes sense. It's a spy organization. So the post-credit scene, the plot of the movie doesn't matter, but the post-credit scene is you see random other women going through angel training, and it's not clear. They don't. They're young women actresses that you've seen, and they don't give the characters names. They're just there. And I'm trying to. One of them is. Let's see what the character's name, the actresses are, because I know who they are, and I'm trying to leave the one for last, which is Charlie's Angels. The. Oops. Reboot. The very end. The very end of the movie has. You see the return of some of the previous angels, and then you see cameos of new angels, and the new angels in the 2019. There's no link on Wikipedia. What's the woman's name who was like the greatest snowboarder who ever lived? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know.
She won Charlie's Angels cameos.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to remember her name. Chloe Kim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Chloe Kim is one of the final angels. Ali Reisman, who's a gymnast, is one of the final angels, and then the last two, and again they're credited as Chloe Kim and then Ali Reisman, or no, they're credited as Angel Recruit.
Yeah,
Chloe Kim, Angel Recruit, Ali Reisman, and then the last two are Haley Steinfeld, who's an actress who's I guess the geekiest show she's made is Bumblebee. But Edge of 17, which is one of my favorite movies.
I did see that. Yeah.
Okay.
And Lily Reinhart, who is Betty Cooper on Riverdale.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
And she's not like, they don't give the character name, but she looks like Betty Cooper. She's got the Betty Cooper hair and everything.
Ponytail and the-
So presumably Betty Cooper just joins the Angels program. Which if you watch, if
That
you watch
checks out for
Riverdale,
Riverdale.
do you watch? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. That's exactly what she would do. Sure. So yeah. So yes, I'm a big fan of that of Riverdale.
Okay.
And it could cross out given.
It could happen.
Several characters in Riverdale have superhero style backgrounds.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've done the whole Red Circle storyline, which was the Red Circle. Red Circle Comics was one of the Archie imprints that was their So hey, anything is possible. I would not put. I mean, and that was one thing I actually wanted to talk about. I mean, aside from just the story in general, but the cameos in the first 3 episodes of Crisis has been the cameos are. I mean, for me, that's almost like the biggest reason to watch.
Yes.
It is.
I mean, some of the cameos have been amazing.
Have you guys liked it or no?
Yeah, I think I've enjoyed it.
That was exactly the right reaction.
Yes.
I'm having fun with it.
Yes.
I'm having I in all of these Arrowverse events. For me, the fun is just getting all of those actors and characters together. I think they all have a great chemistry. You can tell they're all just having a blast.
Yes.
Doing what they're doing. I feel like the story is always secondary.
I like the last 2 crossovers better.
That's fair.
And here's why. So here's the thing. Like, I was looking forward, and I said this on another show, not even my show. It was a guest on somebody else's podcast, and they said, "What were you looking forward to?" And I this is 3 weeks ago, so it was before it started, and I said I was really looking forward to this Crisis crossover. I really was. I wanted to see it, and last time I was on your show, I said, I don't like crossover events in
Right.
general, because I'm usually interested in character development. I normally want to see character development, and way more than I care about just like, oh, we're doing interesting stuff. And I also, in general, don't like Easter eggs when they pull me out of the show that I'm watching. I don't mind. I love being able to find stuff because
Right.
I'm a nerd, but I don't want to. I like don't interrupt the show. I was fully prepared to give Crisis a pass because I was just like, I'm not here. Like this doesn't need to be good. This needs to be 5 straight hours of me pointing at shit and going, "Oh my god, it's Burt Ward."
Right, right, yeah.
Like that's what I was looking for. It's like I want to like put him in the little pants. Like I want to see
Yeah.
him in the shorts. It's like yes, I realize he's 70. Put Burt Ward in the pants, and,
Right.
Linda Carter's not shown up yet. I want her there.
Yeah.
They have Terry Hatcher, Dean Cain, and Helen Slater under contract. Why have I not seen these people? This is like what I'm looking for are just cameos, and they might show up, they might not. I didn't care that much about the story,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I feel like I said, I feel like the story is just
Right. That
it's
said-
yeah, it's on par with a CW event crossover.
well, yeah, except for what, given that they're doing this, they didn't give me enough of the cameos to enjoy my pointing. Burt Ward got 4 seconds of screen time.
Yeah. They had
And-
so many cameos. I had a feeling it was gonna be like, boom.
Yeah, and it was, and I understand that this is not the comic book series where you're like the comic book Crisis. You're doing something that is closing off this world, right? That was the purpose of it, and there was a lot of here you're not really doing that. It seems. So we're gonna have to go spoilers.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The main characters in this, for the most part, are people who are under contract to the shows already. And
Yep.
I don't need every character to have like I was a big Smallville fan, right? If you're gonna do this, I want to see Tom Welling for more than 2 minutes. I want to see Burt Ward for more than 4 seconds. I'm the only person who watched the original Birds of Prey show.
I was wondering when that was going to come out. Yeah.
I'm literally like I was the one guy watching it. I have the DVD box set. It's only like 2 DVDs, but
Yeah, it was
but
just
it's-
one season, right?
Yeah, it's just one season, and they put them all on like I think 2 discs or 3 or
Yeah.
something. I've got that
Yeah.
because I am the fan, right? And and they got Ashley back for they got the woman who plays Huntress back for a scene. Everybody's just in
She
a
looked
scene.
really good too.
She's I mean still a working actress.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like she looked like almost exactly. She looked exactly like her character, just a few years older.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they tossed her in a wig. She, and well, but see, even there, do you know who starred in that show with her?
Dina Meyer.
Yes, and I think that was her voice on the.
Yeah, she was like an uncredited cameo or something.
Yes. Okay. But do you know who the other star of that show was?
Oh, I did. I think we talked about
Ashley
this.
Scott was played Huntress.
Yeah.
And Dinah was played by Rachel Scarston. Rachel Scarston is currently employed playing Black Alice
That on
Batwoman.
Yeah, we
they
talked about
have
this.
her under
Yeah.
contract. Put her on the show.
Right.
I mean, like they literally have her there. She's in town. Then just throw. And yes, I realize she's playing a different character, but so is Brandon Routh.
Yeah.
And Brandon Routh just played 2 characters on this show, and fine, right? So I wanted to see if you're going to do this, if you're going to do it. Like they're getting down to the the only people we're following on these missions, and I'm trying to like ease into the spoilers. Are we've got a team that is essentially Oliver, the Flash, Brandon Routh as Adam, Brandon Routh as Superman,
Batwoman.
Batwoman,
Supergirl.
Supergirl,
Oh.
and
Ryan Choi.
Yeah, he shows up in the last
shows- yeah.
episode, and then before that though, you got Tyler. And
Oh.
you got the Superman and Lois, but who are regulars on
Oh, yeah,
Superman.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and then like so, I'm like, these are all the people who are just stars of these shows. If this is going to be special, like the final team spoilers. Like the final
Yeah.
team is like 7 characters from the Arrowverse shows.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Give me.
I was very upset when the other pillars were just like, oh yeah, it's just the team that was already here all along.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
It
yeah.
felt
they're-
like so throwaway.
Yeah,
it turned out to be like-
they spent
like
a whole
a
episode
much ado about
searching for.
nothing.
We've got to search the entire universe to find the 7 most important characters.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just like, oh, it's us. It was us all.
It was
you know,
like-
Yeah, the
it was,
the
it was
real
in
hero.
your heart
yeah.
all
Yeah.
along.
Yeah, we
had
and
the power
friends we
inside
made
all
along the
along.
way.
And it's
Yep.
just like, but like I don't. It's a crossover to end all crossovers. This problem goes. You know, you can make one of them be Barry from Flash. I don't care, or
Yeah.
Oliver, or whatever. But like, I'm Birds of Prey is my favorite of those shows. Not Birds of Prey. Legends of Tomorrow is my
Yes.
favorite of those shows. It did not need to be Canary or it did.
Yeah.
It didn't. Like I would have rather they hire Ashley Scott for this one series and just make her like instead of giving her 2 minutes of screen time, she's a working actress. Give her the deal. You've got Dean Cain under. I don't know if he's under contract, but he's a recurring character on Supergirl, so his phone number.
Yeah.
Have him come in and play Superman for like. I mean, I know everybody wanted to see Brandon Routh in the outfit, but I see Brandon Routh on that show all the
All the
time.
time, right.
Yeah.
Bring Dean Cain in and just have him be the Lois and Clark Superman for an episode, or if because I know I get why Tom Welling probably didn't want to do it. Fine. So bring Dean Cain back, Helen Slater, or Ashley. Like one of these characters, rather than just rolling them out. It would have been hilarious to have Burt Ward running around
God.
as a retired
Yeah.
Batman, or
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy, as
Yeah.
retired Robin, and Kevin Conroy as a retired Batman, and rather than just giving them just short cameos, I would have loved to have seen that.
Interesting enough, Tom Welling's on Lucifer, so there was that sort of like he's in the Rolodex or whatever. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just get him to do Smallville and then bring along
I did not see that cameo.
the Lucifer cameo.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I thought that was really awesome.
I thought that was really awesome and unexpected, but also I mentioned this when we were at the
He's
the
there
get
for
together
30
that we did.
seconds.
What he was there for 30 seconds, but I appreciated like the meta context of him being a Vertigo character. Constantine's a Vertigo character, merging them into like there's sort of like this. Oh, this kind of parallels real life comic books, but it was still 30 seconds.
Yeah, and
it's a really funny
at
30
least
seconds.
At least his worked.
Yes.
Because the Lucifer, and I'm not even a fan of the Lucifer show, but I know the character, I know the show well
Yeah.
enough
Yeah.
to know that guy wouldn't have given a damn. He's like, look, all right, fine, I'll help you.
Yeah.
But I'm fine here
Yes.
and go. And so his 30 seconds at least worked, but it's just like
Yeah.
somebody that's not on the like. It just felt too much like, and the most important shows are our shows,
Right.
and I'm sure that's just because everybody else they were just paying as little, they paid them for one day's worth of work each. But I hire somebody
Yeah.
on as a full guest spot. It's like you said, Welling, you've got his number.
Or I would have. I mean, I loved when they finally they brought in Black Lightning.
Yep.
I would have liked to have seen him be one of the pillars.
Yes.
You
That would have
know,
been great.
Instead of him like coming in, helping, and then being like,
I mean,
I'm gonna.
he got a whole
disappear."
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, he wasn't just
And
30 seconds.
and he did have a really great scene with Barry.
Barry, yeah.
That was a really nice scene between the two of them, and it makes me hopeful that like when all is said and done, that they will fold his show into like the shows will become more of a.
Do you watch this
cohesive-
show?
I'm behind on it, but yeah.
So so you didn't watch. So you're not caught up to the episode
I'm
before
not.
Crisis. Okay, it does. It's not part of the Crisis.
I thought it was
series.
very well done.
It was very well done. How they get him off of his show into it, like they are a world in the Crisis. Their world is destroyed because they're not in the middle of their world's much more grounded
Right.
than most of the even than Arrow, which is surprising because he's got superpowers. Their world is much more grounded for the most part, and suddenly they have this bottle episode where they have to deal with the sky turning red, and it's dealt with. What was interesting? So you watched it.
Yeah.
They deal with Jennifer's character on the show. You get to see Jennifer, and then you get to see Jennifer Earth 1 and Jennifer Earth 2.
Yeah.
But I'm not clear if they're Earth 1 and Earth 2.
That's
as
what I
we
was
know
trying to
them.
figure out
And it's not.
specifically.
It doesn't. I mean,
it's not. Yeah, I'm like,
like
are
she
you
calls.
guys?
They
sharing
call
your
it
continuity
yeah,
notes.
they call it Earth 1 and Earth 2. One of the things that I've loved about, and they've dropped this because once they started doing crossing over from world to world a lot, they've just gone to what DC did, which was our prime universe is Earth 1 and our secondary is Earth 2 and Earth 3. But on when they first started doing it, there was a throwaway line which I wish they'd kept, which was
Why is your Earth one kind of
yeah.
that
Well, it
thing?
wasn't
Yeah.
even that. Like I think it was Cisco says something to Black Siren to the effect of, "You always call it Earth 2. On my world, we call this Earth 1."
Yeah.
Because which would have made a lot more sense when on Arrow they destroy Earth 2 earlier
Yeah.
on in the season, and she's like, and which I thought was really brilliant. I think Katie Cassidy did an amazing job for that scene where it's like, all right, let's continue the mission, and she's just like, fuck you, everyone I know just died.
Yeah.
Like she's like, I need a moment, and he's just like, but we've got to go save these people, and she's like, that's your world, my world just died, and she does a great job of basically spending the entire rest of the episode and half of the next episode being bitter about it, which is I get upset when one person I know dies. This is literally 7 million people. I get it. So like I thought she's done a great job, and I wish they carried through on things like that. If she had been one of the final 7,
Yes.
that would. I mean, like she's under contract. It shouldn't all be like every single
It shouldn't
person.
just be the regular heroes. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not all from Earth 1, because
Yeah.
they're either from Earth 1 or they're from Supergirl's Earth,
Yeah.
which is 38. Like every single person who's in the final. I mean, you thought it was going to be Brandon Routh for a moment, but now effectively all the survivors from that world are just from, like why did we cross the multiverse at all?
Yes.
Like because of a prophecy that it turned out to be pointless.
Mm-hmm.
Like it turned out to not matter because everyone was in that room.
Yep.
Except for he had Luthor. No, except for Brandon Choi.
Yeah. Yeah. Brian Troy was like the one like, oh wow, that was interesting, and then I was like, oh well.
And it's not interesting because they don't find him till that episode.
know.
So I mean, like he's interesting to you because you've read the comic
Yes.
and you know who Brandon Choi is. If I'm just a CW fan, I've got like at least if it were Tom Welling or Dean Cain or maybe not Ashley Scott, that would matter to me. But if it were Tom Welling or Dean Cain, there's a chance that some fan out there is like, oh, that's cool.
Or John Wesley Shipp.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody that anybody has a relationship
Yeah.
to. Brandon Choi is only interesting to you because you have comic book knowledge that has not been earned by the show.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like the show has told you. I mean, if I'm just a random watcher of CW who doesn't read the internet and doesn't know comics,
Right.
then I assume this guy's just an extra who's around for this series. I don't know
Yeah.
if he's gonna like. I mean, I assume he's going to be on Legends. They've said he's been cast on a show. It's got to be Legends. Arrow's is ending.
Well, yeah, when they
And we
already
know-
talked about Brandon Ruth's not going to be on
Yeah,
the show.
and Ruth
after
is
the
yeah,
season,
he's
Oh, is he?
leaving. Yeah,
He's
he's
leaving.
He's leaving the show.
AKA he's definitely dying.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Because what's her name is also leaving. I don't remember the actress's name, but Damien Dark's daughter.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
and
Interesting.
aren't they together on the show?
Yes. They
are
Okay,
together on the
so
show.
they're going to go off together at
Yeah,
some point.
I mean,
Okay.
I mean,
That's fair.
I assume, but like,
Yeah.
but both actors are leaving.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
one,
Okay.
so I presume
That
I mean,
makes sense.
or they could both die.
Yeah.
But I'm presuming that they're gonna just go off and live happily ever after because they're both. I mean, that would be my assumption.
Yeah.
But they've both said that this is their last season.
Okay.
So and Brent and Choi is showing up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna be the new Adam. All right, fine. But like I only know that because I'm cheating, right, by having read comics.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's not good storytelling. I wish they worked a little harder. And,
Yeah.
And just I understand that there are financial concerns. I understand that you're trying to like actually sell the continuing show, but like it just made me feel like everything was pointless. I just even if they'd saved one person
Right.
who wasn't a regular, I would have.
Yeah.
I needed something.
Well, there were a couple of points where, that I kind of felt the same way, but like, I think the biggest one was Ollie's death,
Yes.
where where he at first like he he's like, well, if the planet's not evacuated, I'm not done, and he goes back to fighting, which are basically like the Dementors, that from Harry Potter. It's like, which I hated, like that whole like, oh, let's just fight a bunch of whatever they were, like these bunch of black ghosts or whatever.
Well,
that was
it's
just
the
dumb.
it's the modern superhero movie problem, right? Like you fight a faceless horde because you can kill them,
right?
Ultrons or shadow demons, or it doesn't matter, right?
And it's probably easy to just CGI everything.
You just CGI one. You make one model, you CGI over and over again. You could just
But so and then we just see him running towards the whatever the horde or the whatever they were, these spirits or wraiths. And we don't actually see him do anything heroic. We just, like we know he does, but like, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh no, Ollie's dying. And then, he has his heartfelt moment, but like, I felt like it wasn't earned because we didn't see anything happen.
I would have been okay with it. I felt like it wasn't earned because it doesn't matter.
Well,
at the end of the day, everybody in the universe except for 8 people died.
Well, not only that, but then like the very next episode, they're like, "Oh shit, we're just gonna dunk him in a Lazarus pit."
Yeah, we'll just take him to Lazarus.
It's
pit.
like nothing matters. There's
Right.
like no stakes because as long as we can find a Lazarus pit, we're good.
Right. So, but I mean, like, so they're gonna dunk him in a Lazarus pit, and then that doesn't work because he decides to stay dead and become the Spectre. Spoilers for the future: he's becoming the Spectre apparently.
Yeah.
Because like, you're Jim Corrigan, not the one I know. Oh, come on, it was just like whatever. But and I mean, I'm even okay with that. But like. I'm okay with him dying and becoming the Spectre, so they can write him out of the series in case and then leave the door open in case they ever want to cameo him to get a ratings bump. Fine, but he saved these people, and then they killed them all on the next episode,
right?
Because he saves them, and it's because of your sacrifice. 3 billion souls were saved, or an extra billion souls were saved. 'Cause they'd saved 2.5 billion. And then somehow he held off the horde long enough for another billion to be saved, which isn't clear how that worked because
they were on the ship faster.
Because he's fighting in one location. Sure, fine. I mean, like I'll even take that hand waviness. But if you're going to kill them anyway, and I know the shows have been renewed, so the show is going to you're going to kill them, and the show's going to be renewed, so it's coming back. Then I don't know, because I actually at this point I presume they're going to regenerate those universes. Originally I assumed Crisis was going to end with them doing what they did in 1986 in the comics, which was now we can have Supergirl on one planet with Allie,
merging everything together.
And we'll merge in Black Lightning, and we'll merge in. But I don't know. I mean, they could still do that. But if that's the case, it becomes a weird hand waviness of we only want to carry, like, we're not saving the Smallville universe, which we gave a happy ending to. We're not saving the Lucifer universe, even though his show's still going on. Like, his show is literally on the air.
But it would be fantastic if that's how they canceled Titans.
Well, but they haven't.
I know. But they're like, Titans got canceled. The world got wiped out at the end.
Except for Titans has been renewed.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, Titans has been renewed for season 3. And I'm not even sure that was a real cameo. I think that was just stock footage from the show.
That's what it looked like to me.
Because I actually watched Titans, and I like Titans far better than I thought I would.
Same.
I mean, it's not. I didn't mention it on the best of episode. It's certainly not the best show on the air.
It's a lot of fun though.
I thought it was going to be a garbage fire, and it's not. It's it's a slowly simmering garbage.
But
in a fun way.
It kind of grows on you.
Yeah, it does. It's not Doom Patrol, which is legitimately good.
Doom Patrol was just
on accident
out of the gate. Was
good. But Titans is Titans is clearly going to come back because we know it's been renewed. At this point, again, you said you haven't been watching Black Lightning, but Black Lightning story does not. They're in the middle of a season, and so the Flash, Supergirl, and Arrow shows. Arrow's ending, but their storylines can continue from this point in Crisis. Legends, which hasn't started for this year yet, can continue from this point in Crisis. Black Lightning can't. They've got stuff going on. I mean, Batwoman, it would be weird, but it could. I mean, like they're
I think Batwoman's also new enough that they can. it's malleable. They can. I feel like they can probably mess around with it.
Yeah,
You know.
but I also think these people, the people in Batwoman's world, live in a world where Batman's been around. They
Right,
live in a
true.
world where they don't seem to live in a world where Superman's been around, but they live in a Gotham. Like
Yeah.
she's name dropped, not just her own villains, but she's name dropped Joker and Penguin and
Yeah.
like they live in a world where bat shit happens from case.
Yeah.
like they you know so okay, a crisis happened. All right, fine.
Yeah,
you
well,
know.
I mean, and they're part of the Arrow.
Right,
verse,
so
like
fine.
Arrow Earth or
like,
whatever.
But like, the Black Lightning show cannot just pick up from Crisis. If this is a world where so I'll look at like the Avengers movies, and this is one of the problems I had with the Avengers movies was after and they figured out it for eventually, but they didn't figure out it first, and they sort of subtly started doing it on the Netflix shows. After ignoring it for a bit under Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then eventually getting into it. Unlike the Marvel Universe of the comics, which has Galactus trying to eat the planet every other week, right? In the Marvel Universe of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Loki's invasion in the first Avengers movie was the first large-scale event that had ever happened. That should be the only thing anybody talks about for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Seriously, like
it was like one bad weekend.
Well,
They're
no,
like,
yeah, I mean, like the
With the way
entire
they wrote it,
the
yeah.
entire point of Watchmen, the 1980, 85, 86 book, is Ozymandias. It works because he's like, I'll just trick people into thinking there's an alien invasion, and then it will change everything about the world. So that should have happened in the Avengers movie, and then they sort of build up to, okay, then Markovia happened. Like if or they don't call it, is it Markovia?
Markovia's DC.
No, what do they call it?
Sokovian.
Sokovia.
Yeah.
Sokovia Accord.
Yep.
So Sokovia happens, and they're willing to like restructure the laws of the government. So fine, and then Spider-Man: Far From Home does a great job of, okay, when the blip happens, which is what they call the snap, then this changes everything about everybody's life. In game, there's support groups, and that's what I expect to happen for something like this.
Yeah.
Infinite universes were just wiped out,
Yep.
and they appear to be aware of it. It's not like a secret war is going on or a secret invasion. Like they literally know that the sky turned red across the entire world.
Yeah.
And people were swallowed by antimatter. So unless they're going to do some hocus pocusy magic, which is what they did in the Prime DC universe in the comics, which I think is boring. For most of the TV shows, because it becomes weird if they're like, oh, everybody on Earth 1 remembers, but not Earth 38. Remember that time that we got on spaceships and flew to,
Right.
And I just don't know. I think you can change. I think you want to be able to merge the worlds together because you want to be able to have more Supergirl Batwoman crossovers, because they're clearly building towards that with the Lost of Arrow.
Yes.
Right.
They have great chemistry.
Yeah, but but then it becomes weird. Okay, we're gonna merge Supergirl's planet with this one for ratings reasons, but we're leaving Black Lightning out because he's the black guy. I don't know. Like why? What is the storyline reason, not the marketing reason? And it becomes weird. We are leaving John Wesley Shipp's world dead because we don't care about that show because it was canceled 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like that. Like there's no storyline reason to not restore the ones that matter.
Right.
So I'm not sure how they're going to get out of it. And I would maybe even be less critical of it if they just not, the Easter eggs only became distractions because the story was too much, and with the story being so grounded in the Arrowverse only, nothing else, like everything else seemed gratuitous. Like they didn't even actually meet Huntress, or like they know Ray. Like they brought the guy back who plays the Ray.
Yeah.
Just toss him on there.
Yeah.
Just to do some bad green screen.
Well, no, yeah, but I mean, but have him be one of the chosen ones.
Right. Yeah. No,
I
I love that character and love that actor.
They got Snart to play the voice.
I thought that was a clever touch.
To play the choice, but there's no reason. Like
Yeah.
they were like, oh, we want to show that there's another universe, so we're going to use another universe as Rory and Ship.
Mm-hmm.
There's no good reason for
No,
that.
there isn't.
Other than to just feel like they're doing other universes,
Mm-hmm.
and then it doesn't matter anyway because no one acknowledges it again after that first time,
Yeah.
other than the fact that it's Snart's voice instead of the regular Gideon.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, just get Snart and make him be Captain Cold for a show, or Citizen
Yes.
Cold or
Yeah.
whatever. Like I don't know if he's busy and he just could do all of that like over the
Yeah.
phone. Like I don't know what he.
That's a shame because he was one of my favorite, just like all-time favorite like CW Arrowverse characters. I mean he was
Yeah.
great.
He saved Legends.
Yes.
If you watch that first season, the first season of Legends, again, Legends is my favorite of the Arrowverse shows. Absolutely, of all of them, is my absolute favorite. The first season's bad.
It's rough.
The
Yeah.
first season's it's not just rough, it's bad. It's not a good television show. And I've rewatched it. I've watched it twice. And there's a definitive point. I don't remember the episode number. I want to say it's like, I think the first season's like 12 episodes, and I believe it's like episode 6 or 7 when what's the guy's name plays Snart?
Wentworth Miller.
Wentworth Miller realizes he's on a bad television show. Not the actor, not the character Snart, but there's a point where Wentworth Miller, the real person, the actor, clearly realizes he's on a bad television show, and then from then on, clearly decides to single-handedly save the show, because there's a definitive point where it stops being, for him, it stops being a badly written television show, and he starts playing every episode like he's doing Shakespeare. Like if you watch actors, he goes from just kind of rolling with the punches with this bad script, and he suddenly just gets deep into making deep acting choices, like he's going for an Oscar in every scene. He starts chewing through scenery like mad, and then you can sort of tell that everybody else sort of steps up their game, and the material is still awful. The content of that first season is not good, but Rip Hunter gets better. White Canary gets better. They all just start getting better slowly and trying to like match their game to his, and that saves the show.
Yeah,
It
I think
clearly
their
saves the show.
chemistry definitely improves over the course of the season. Yeah,
And like I'll do get him back on the show as often as possible. He's got a version of his character still alive.
Yeah.
yeah. On Earth X, right?
Yep.
Yes.
He's with the Ray.
Yes, which was destroyed, but you clearly had his number because But again, maybe he was out of town and they just kind of wanted they like I don't you can do ADR work from anywhere, right?
Oh, yeah.
He could have just gone to a sound studio for a day and just give me my 10 lines. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe he's busy rebooting Prison Break or something.
Well, except for he can't because Dominic Purcell would have to be there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which,
that's
by
right,
the
they're
way, is
both in.
brilliant casting. The fact that if you're, prison, Captain Cold and Heatwave are played by the two guys from Prison Break, which
Right.
is
Yes.
so smart.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, and the thing that I feel like really kind of sucks and is a momentum killer is the fact that we're not going to find out anything about anything for like a month.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
I really just I hate beyond everything that they are making us wait until January 14th to
It's weird scheduling.
to complete this. Yeah, I think it just really it just kills the momentum, and it's
It's gonna come back and I'm gonna be like, I don't remember what happened in Crisis. Even though it's been a month, I'll have consumed like 40 hours of other television.
I'm certain that they will rerun because they're in rerun season essentially
Yeah.
for this month, and I'm certain the first week of January is just going to be the Crisis episode.
Probably.
yeah.
It's going to be they're going to show all of the, and so why and it wasn't big enough to justify this was not. I think that they did a Thanos snap. Like I think that they think that this is a
People are going to be on the edge of their seats.
We got them. Except they kept everything a secret.
This is Avengers Infinity War level, cliffhanger. And again, Infinity War, you waited a year. I was invested more than I am this time.
Yeah.
I watch these shows every week, but
Yeah.
it's like,
I watched that the end of that third episode, and I'm like, okay, so now what? I mean, it was interesting-ish.
the Luthor twist was fun.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
But
but
like,
it wasn't
it's like-
snap level
Nah.
interesting. It was it
was
was just
fun.
like
This is another episode.
right, exactly. It should have been like, okay, tune in tomorrow night
Yeah.
for for another chapter or whatever. I mean, they should have just kept going. It should have been just 5 consecutive nights. Just
I
think
think
it's a poor decision.
I think they thought they had grabbed people more than they did.
yeah. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I'll still be there, but it was just disappointing.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, and we're being it's kind of weird. It's kind of unfair to be this critical about a show that
On the CW.
It's a CW, it's a CW network show, and again, despite my insistence, like, okay, breaking character for a moment, I know Riverdale's not the best show that's ever been made, but I'll say, I think I've actually said on my show before when we did our episode on Riverdale, when Riverdale the show was announced, I watched it. I know Wayne and Marcel watched it. A friend of mine at work, my friend Mark, he said he was going to watch it, and we were all watching it to make fun of it the next day. It's like, this is going to be awful. Why is anybody doing this? This is a ridiculous concept. And then the next day I talked with all of them, and I was like, is it just me or was Riverdale good? It's like, yeah, it was way better than I thought it was going to be. And it was just sort of like, Riverdale is just good enough to have, if your expectations are at ground level,
Yeah.
then hitting anything above average. And I think it is an above average show. But everything about Riverdale seems amazing. The chaos and craziness of
I
Riverdale
was
just
gonna say,
works.
it's just batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Every episode.
Every episode. Well, what I think is amazing about Riverdale is everybody on the show is on a different show. Like, Cheryl exists in a gothic horror show. Jughead is on Rebel Without a Cause, and Betty Cooper is on Nancy Drew. They're all subtly different shows, and
Right.
it merges all the actors are great. They're all doing Veronica's on a telenovela, and whenever she is, and whenever whenever their storylines cross over, it works because Archie's essentially actually on like a Dawson's Creek style show, except for when he decides to be a superhero, in which case he's on Arrow.
Yeah.
Cheryl, by the way, is a superhero in her spare time. Like
Yeah.
when you find out that Cheryl is a longbow hunter and just deadly sniper. Okay, sure, and it's just like those things all work, and it's not. But I know it's not the greatest show, right? It's just like it's really, really good for a CW show. Another show on CW, The 100, is really, really good for a CW
Yes.
show. Flash I like because I'm a superhero junkie.
Yeah.
Arrow I like because I'm a superhero junkie. They're fine. They're as good as Smallville was, which was fine.
Yeah, it's like you have your really fun like moments that you kind of geek out over, and then you have the melodrama that you kind of roll your eyes over. That but yeah, I feel like it kind of evens out.
I'll give you my when the Netflix before all the Netflix shows got canceled, and I've gotten into this argument with people. I'm sure you have listeners who hated Iron Fist. We've got 3 great shows, and we've got Iron Fist, and Iron Fist is horrible. Iron Fist is horrible. Iron Fist wasn't horrible. At that point, Iron Fist was the 4th best superhero television show ever created. It was
It was never going to live up to to Daredevil and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones.
It was the only problem with Iron Fist, and I'm not saying Iron Fist was great. The problem with Iron Fist was that it was on the same network as the 1, 2, and 3 best television shows ever created up until superhero television shows up until that point. I mean, since then we've gotten Watchmen and Doom Patrol. Like, I understand that, but at that point, Iron Fist was really because your people are saying, "Oh, this show sucks." I'm like, I watched Smallville for 10 seasons.
Yeah.
Iron Fist was way better than Smallville.
Yes.
Iron Fist is better than Arrow. It's a better written show. The fight choreography wasn't great, but I watched Greatest American Hero as a kid. It wasn't actually bad. You're just saying that because it's not as good as the other 3 shows that were better.
Because we've been exposed to like the best superhero shows
of all time, just all happened to come out right before it.
Yeah.
But it was better. Like, I was watching the Arrowverse shows, and it's like, I was watching Legends. which was Legends was on that first season, the same time Iron Fist was on its first season. Legends sucked. Legends was horrible that first season. I saw potential in it,
Yeah.
but that first season's bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So like doing that comparison, I mean, this was a fine crossover, but I want it to be good. It was not as good as the previous ones, and I think they bit off more than they could chew, and the cracks show in a way that I don't think they do. Like I don't know if watching the 100, as I said on CW, is a really good show. Most of their shows are just fine, and this seemed like a just fine 3 hours of television.
Yeah.
That like. I think they hyped it. If they just started it all of a sudden, if they'd done all this filming in secret rather than spending the last
They didn't
6
spend a
months
year
hyping
announcing it was
up.
going to happen in
Yeah,
the
well-
last crossover. Yeah.
Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say it goes back even further. It goes back to literally like the
first Flash
the first episode of the Flash,
technically,
where
yeah.
you see like Flash disappears in Crisis over or whatever, Red Skies, and so like this has been something that's been in the background for 5 years, 6 years, however long Flash has been on, and yeah, and then well, the one thing that like again in like the last season or two of the Flash, where it's been prophesied and that he's going to die in Crisis, and then it gets to the episode where it's supposed to happen, and they're like, oh, he didn't say which Flash.
Yeah, they did.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, the monitor didn't say, but you've had this newspaper hanging on your wall with
Right.
clearly your picture on it for.
Yeah.
well, it just makes me wonder if maybe there's still some twists to be had. So who
Yeah,
knows?
but a twist is not going to be we're firing Grant Gustin.
Yeah.
So-
Oh no, I'm not saying they're going to kill him. Just
Yeah.
saying, like, well, of course, like as superhero deaths go. I mean, like nothing is ever permanent, so he could die and come back or something like that. I mean,
Sure.
it happened in the comics.
But then why is there an
Yeah.
article? I mean, the question, so now we've got this article that is hanging on their wall, and that shows clearly Grant Gustin was killed. Grant Gustin's Flash was killed in Crisis. They've had this newspaper forever, and I guess when they reboot it, the newspaper article can show John Wesley Shipp's Flash instead. Except that why is there an article about him? No one, only 5 people in this reality know that he exists.
Maybe they thought it was the real Flash at the time, and then the newspaper article the day later was like, oh,
It was
wrong
written
Flash.
by Iris.
Yeah.
It's literally Iris wrote the article,
Yeah.
and Iris is one of 5 people in this
Yes.
reality who know that John
Well-
Wesley Shipp is a thing.
well, not only that, but like the red skies basically means you're going to die. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, like Flash disappears in red sky, in the Red Sky event, and then we disappeared 5 minutes later.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I think it's like it's almost like you think about it too much and you start pulling on that thread.
This is
You
like
know.
the Captain America thing at the end of Endgame, where I was just like, he just let Bucky get fucking tortured so he could have sex with Agent Carter.
He let Kennedy die.
I know, with that too. Everything. I'm like, he's such a dick.
like Cap has like supreme knowledge of the future, and he's just like, timeline.
Yeah.
I would,
So yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm just not gonna even acknowledge that occurred,
Well, and
or I won't think about it too
it
much.
actually, I mean, there's the end game doesn't bother as much as it did other people because the story's better. I mean,
Sure.
that's what it comes down
Yeah.
to. The story is better. The only the parts of the end game that bother me with the timey-wimey stuff is the fact that Cap's just there. There are parts of time travel logic that don't work in that movie, which would not have bothered me if they hadn't had a 5-minute scene of Tony fucking explaining time travel to me.
Right.
If you just said time travel is confusing, weird stuff happens, and and waved your hands, okay, I'm fine. I watch Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I'm a Doctor Who fan, and Doctor Who time travel logic is whatever I need it to be for this episode,
Right.
and it might not match next episode. Doctor Who can go anywhere in the universe except to save Amy Pond, because they said Amy Pond on her last episode essentially gets trapped in the one place in the time stream that he is not allowed to go.
fixed
And-
points in time and stuff. I'm
No,
like,
it's not
yep.
not just a fixed point. Like she literally gets trapped.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
At a certain point of the time, he's like, if you go back, I won't be able to save you. And she's like, but I want to be with the man I love. So so she goes. Never mind the fact, like he's like, but I cannot travel to whatever year this is in America, which is where she's trapped. She gets trapped, and she lives out the rest of her life there and becomes a novelist. And she dedicates a book to him that he sees back in the future. In the future, and it's like, okay, sure, but you could go back to a year later in America, like let her live in the past for a year.
Yeah.
Or you can't go to. It's like she gets trapped in New York City in like the year 1952, and then lives out the rest of her life there. It's like, okay, wait till 1953 and go to New York City. We know you can because you've done it since then. Or maybe like because River can go
Yeah.
there, and she's visited. And they say, or just tell River to go there and tell her to get on a plane to London, and I'll pick her up in 1950.
Yes.
Like there are solutions.
Right.
There are solutions around this that I am not a time lord, and I am able to figure out that don't work because Amy Pond wanted to leave the show and go make Guardians of the Galaxy and Jumanji movies. That's why, That's why he can't save her. She had other things to do. The actress had other. Karen Gillian had a career, and Rory wanted to go be a Legend of Tomorrow for 2 seasons. That's why he can't
Yes.
save them.
Right.
And I'm fine with that because in the ridiculous nature of time travel, of nothing needs to make sense on Doctor Who, we're only trying to amuse you for this episode. It's fine. I don't think they're as good, but I am not one of these people who's going to look at the Fox X-Men movies and try to make stuff make sense.
Oh yeah, you can't do it.
They don't. The logic of the logic of an X-Men movie, continuity lasts till the last movie, maybe. Like, don't try to think too hard. Stuff breaks all the time. Like, and they just don't care. And I'm fine with that. In-game went so hard trying to make me care about those things that when the time travel rules don't work, it gets annoying. And this show, Legends of Tomorrow, has done so much time travel stuff. They've done so much trying to make you care about things with trying to build this continuity and this very intricate puzzle of stuff going from Arrow to Crisis, and from Flash to Crisis, and Flash to Legends, and crossing over, and we're gonna build this intricate timepiece, and they're not good enough to do it to where I notice the cracks in a way that I just kind of forgive them on other shows. And I don't want to, because I want to just enjoy the show. So don't make me aware. It's like what I said about Easter eggs. I don't like being reminded too much. Don't make me aware of all of your defects. And don't try to be something more than you're not. Because if you're just fun, like I said, Legends. My favorite episode of Legends, they go to King Arthur land. They travel back in time to King Arthur, and they spend the entire episode with Nate, who's a historian, going, but King Arthur wasn't real. And everybody's like, don't worry about it. Like, literally, he's like, how are we going into the past to a fictional myth? And they're like, and everybody's just like, don't worry about it. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Show doesn't
Don't
care.
think about it.
And that can work. I don't need, it doesn't work when they try to make it make sense, because it breaks down.
Yeah.
As opposed to the other show we're going to talk about where everything works.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't think we're gonna have time.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So I'm really sorry about that.
No.
But
Well, Watchmen was what I was talking about. Very intricate show where
Yeah.
literally everything is so intricately planned out.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I would say I feel like we could probably, maybe when we come back for the in 2020, maybe we'll have one episode that's just Watchmen talk.
I did a whole episode of Watchmen on my show, and we were on the second episode of the TV series.
Yeah. It's a week-long mini series of podcasting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say maybe by that point I'll have watched it and caught up on it.
Yes, you should definitely.
Well, I'll have a few days off around the holidays, so maybe that'll be my present to myself. I'll just dig in and enjoy some Watchmen.
It's hard. It's a show. I've not tried to binge it. Like, I mean, it just as we record this, it just ended last night for us. So probably like 2 weeks ago for your listeners.
Right.
I've not at this point tried to watch all 10 episodes in a row. I don't know that you can. Link, you've seen them.
Yeah.
You want to watch one and sit with it
Yeah, I would
for
say
at least a day, if not
some
a
shows
week.
definitely need to need to let marinate.
Yeah, yeah.
So
There's a lot of
that'll probably be one of those. Yeah, yeah.
It feels just like, oh, I want to binge watch Chernobyl. You don't do
no,
that.
no. Yeah, there's a lot of. But you can. I mean, you could binge watch a season of Legends of Tomorrow. And,
Yes.
Oh
Totally.
yeah, yeah. Well, you know, our
watch it 2 times speed. You'll be done in 5 hours.
Jared watched how many seasons of
The marathon. Yeah, he
Arrow in like a month or something.
crushed like 6 to 7 seasons of Arrow in a month. They're like,
I think
Damn.
that's too much Arrow for any human being.
that's an unhealthy amount of Arrow.
and a lot of it's not good. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan, and a lot of it's just not good.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll start wrapping it up. I know in our last episode you gave us a pretty deep breakdown of
what my
Fox
show is.
podcast.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and just tell everyone again where they can find your show and briefly what it's about.
iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts from, or from our website, www.voxpopcast.com, VOXPOP, not DCAST. And we are a academic or pseudo-academic roundtable where we have fans and scholars of pop culture, from comics to movies to TV shows to video games. We get together and we discuss some pop culture topic every week, and we try to have fun with it. It's rather than just be a deep dive into one thing like here where we're talking about the Arrowverse. We'll talk about the idea of Santa Claus and comics, or the idea of I don't know. We've done a lot of shows. They all start blurring together in my head, but they shouldn't for you. No, they tend to be really fun. We'll talk about colonialism, or how is racism portrayed in the DC universe or something like that. We do things like that.
Yeah, good stuff. Definitely. All right. Well, this is actually gonna be our last episode of 2019. It's been a great year of podcasting, and great to be here in the Sorgatron Media Studios as always. Big thanks to Mike and Missy Sorg for always hosting us and helping us with the tech side of things, and thanks to Scott, Jared, Sean, Link, Kate, and thanks Matt for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime. So my name's Dan. I'm your host, and for this episode, we've got on the couch we got Link,
See everybody.
and one more time just for fun, we got Mav from the Vox Podcast.
Bye.
And have a great rest of the year, and we'll see you in 2020.